And
Sweet.
we're live. Right, welcome everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday Tat Chat. Number, can't remember. I just
95.
95. There you go. How are you doing, Zahir?
I'm perfectly well. Just getting on with a bit of work as we all should be at this time of year, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. Busy time of year for me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We were just talking briefly before we go on to talk about our topic for the night. We were talking briefly about people in the Tat Chat Facebook group, which
Yeah.
there should be a link below for. Can't remember. May have seen. I posted a picture of this. I'll quickly show it before we move on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
This arrived in the post. Was it today? Might have been today or yesterday. It was once a TIE Fighter Star Wars model, which I sold brand new, and an Amazon customer returned this as faulty, funnily enough.
Wow.
Absolutely destroyed. It's missing parts, it's missing the figure, missing the box, missing everything. And but the kicker is I haven't sold any of those. I sold about 20 or so of them over a year ago.
That is just
So,
yeah, I mean, I think I saw someone's reaction in that thread where they were livid on your behalf, and I kind of understand that sentiment, because as much as I'm all for, like, with business you have costs, you have to tolerate lots of things, like when you have a brick and mortar store you get people that literally will steal from you,
yeah.
but this is beyond that. This is going beyond any level of service that anyone would provide. You couldn't even walk into John Lewis with that and expect to get your money back in that condition. I mean, there are limits. It's a toy which is designed to, by nature, it's a toy. Therefore, it's designed to be played by children who are known to break things.
Yeah.
So how you can?
Well, it's the time scale that's the kick in the teeth for me, because also in that thread on the Facebook, someone else said I had a similar thing. Something was returned, I think, like 7 or 8 months later. And they kind of chased Amazon up on this, and they said, yeah, there's a 5-year window for returns.
That's not true, surely.
That's what I thought. But what I'm planning to do, I didn't get a chance today. I'm going to ring Amazon and just say, hi, guys. What's going on?
Yeah. And surely condition has to play a part. I mean, if condition wasn't important, they wouldn't be so keen on emphasizing it to sellers when you're listing your item. I mean, I remember when I first started selling on Amazon, I was literally getting, tying myself in knots, worrying over condition and like how to send this in. And often you'll see sellers with new items with like, I don't know, crumpled corners or shelfware, sending items in as like new or used like new instead of as new. And
I think it comes down to this: as a seller, they want you to jump through every hoop they've put in front of you. As a buyer, you can do whatever the beep you like. It's simple as that.
There are lines. I mean, like I said, I'm all for, like, running a business and understanding costs and appreciating that you can't get hung up on things. But if you're going to sell things on a platform which literally will allow the customer base to act in any way they want, I mean,
that's what it feels like.
Yeah. It's I mean, this, and then this adds to the proliferation of like the Facebook groups who actively promote theft, basically. So
well, I think this is that thread is interesting, actually. If you do want to pop over to the Tat Chat and read it, it's interesting because I think everybody who sells in any volume on Amazon has seen an increase in ridiculous returns. People returning things that were completely different to what was sold in the first place, a different item. People returning things like this example a year later. So what I'm hoping to do tomorrow, if I get a chance, is phone Amazon and just ask some basic questions and say to them, what is acceptable? What do we have to put up with? And
I mean, that might help Tom as well, but Tom the English Picker. I mean, he's getting like a vain like moniker in that episode of Friends. He's been raging about Amazon over the last few days, and with really good cause. Especially when you're as invested into it as he is, to then get treated like that is, I can imagine how anger, like how much that would anger someone, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to speak on Tom's behalf, but I know
yeah, I mean,
had some grief recently.
Yeah, we
coming a video soon. I know it's going to make some more videos. So yeah. Anyway, I've been so very rude and not said hi to the chat. Let me see if I can still scroll back to the start.
We've got over 100 people watching us.
Fantastic. Welcome everybody. And first in tonight, I believe, was Bumcrack Picker. And then
I still can't, yeah.
And then we've got Karen Fisher, Adrian's in there. Oh, somewhere Adrian said just at the beginning, where was it? Yeah, he said, in answer to the question that I posed in the title, he said, paid postage. There you go. See you all next week. So I said, there you go. That's it. No need for a live show.
That's the end of it.
There's a bit more discussion than that, I would hope. So yeah, lots of people popping in. Panzer, Jason Entwistle, a lot of the regulars, which is great to see. Chelsea. Wow, loads of chat. There's Gary in there as well. Hi, mate. Tactical Bite. So yeah, well, that's that. I will try and get this video done if I can get through to someone at Amazon that
it needs to be. I think it would be
with me and answer some questions. That'll be interesting.
It'll be good to draw some light onto it, because we all understand. I think everyone has a basic understanding that Amazon are very, customer centric or customer focused, however you want to put it.
But there has to be.
But there has,
line you can draw in the sand and say, no.
You can't do that. I mean, I remember when Fake Rachel had a Nintendo game returned to her with like tape wrapped around it or something. It was something along those lines. I think it was like a Nintendo cartridge, a valuable one at that. And it would, like brown tape or something just taped over the box. And that's the thing. It's like, if you're going to stipulate conditions yourself as a company, then surely you have to respect those. And on the other side, that's all. It's just, it is really wrong for that to happen.
Yeah. So we'll see if I can get someone on the phone. I mean, I'm not going to tell them I'm recording it. I think that's a bit.
Don't you have to?
Well, I don't know. There's loads and loads of videos all over YouTube of people chatting.
Do that, yeah. No, because don't you have to just say I'm recording you too? Like they tell you this call may be recorded. You can just say it in a jokey way, but actually be doing. You'd be like, yeah, I'm recording.
No, just at the beginning say, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm recording you too.
Yeah, exactly. Job done. Yeah. Well, if they record you saying, yeah, I'm recording you too, so then that should be enough. Yeah. I mean, you're perfectly entitled to record a phone call you're having. So
yeah, but it's it on YouTube anyway. That's for another.
That's for another. Yeah.
Right. In the chat, I've just said Gary kind of leads on to the. Was it Gary? Actually, no. Where are we? Andy said, going back to the topic that we're going to discuss. It's an age-old discussion. I know, and we have touched on it before, but I thought, because you've been playing around with it again, I thought it was a good time to chat about it. And Andy says it makes no real difference in the grand scale of things. If you're offering free postage, include it in your cost. There, saved an hour of discussion. It's not as simple as that, because there are some benefits that eBay give you, and some people think it's beneficial one way or the other. Now, what have you changed recently?
Okay, I think it's interesting that comment, because I think whatever you're doing, whether you're free postage or whether you're charging postage, whether you do auctions, whether you do buy now, whatever it is, I think it's always healthy to be looking at your store and to be finding or trying different things, because and things do change. Things that may have been terrible as an idea before are not so terrible now. For example, I've recently gone to free postage for my UK items, which are like under 2 kilos. So like my smaller, lighter items. Everything above that, I'm still charging postage as normal. And I do that because I feel like these items are more unique. They're like a bit like, if you want one of those, there aren't millions of those there. You're going to pay for the postage, and it costs postage to ship a big, heavy item. So yeah. I've got no issue
behind doing that on the lighter stuff, then, just because you get them.
My main reason is because, again, it's about adapting, isn't it? It's like everyone's situation is different. I've recently, as you know, gotten a bunch of this RC stuff coming, and I've already got over 200 listings on Thunder Tiger out of about 570 of my total listings, and I'm still not done. So by the time I'm done, the more than half of my shop is going to be RC parts. And looking around at other people that are selling RC parts, it seems to be, it's like one of those things with video games or with media. You know, you have to be competitive to some extent. So I thought that it just made a bit of sense just to be that little bit more competitive, to ship those items using free post. But I am obviously offering international shipping as well, and that gets charged anyway, so that doesn't affect, you know, I'm still charging shipping when I'm selling abroad, so that doesn't affect it. But when I was doing those, it just made sense for me to
just for argument's sake, what, to my mind, what, like when I was doing Lego and pretty much nothing but Lego, we used to have shipping on, and then we would advertise on every listing, buy more than one of our items and you get like only pay one shipping cost no matter what you buy. And it really pushed people to go, oh, okay, I'm buying this now, I'll have a look around the store and see what else I need because I'll save money. And it seemed to really push multiple sales. So did you think about that angle with it?
Well, I did actually, and the way I see it is you can still offer a discount, because that's essentially what that is, obviously a combined shipping or free shipping discount. So you can still offer a small discount if you wanted to on multiple purchases. I could just say, you know, on my RC parts, buy 3 and I'll give you an extra 10% off or something, or I could give you one free or whatever. It doesn't really matter what the offer is, because, you know, obviously it depends on what the margins are, etc. But I would then also have the added benefit, and this is something that I do think I've never really given a full try, but when I have used it, it seems to work. Using sorry, no, not free postage. Yeah, I was thinking using free postage, and I've also changed to good till cancelled as well.
All right.
So I've actually done a lot of changes, and that's allowing me to then do markdowns, which I've noticed have had like a good effect. So I've actually had a couple of sales on items that I hadn't had before, since putting the markdown on. Now, yeah, I know they could have just been coincidence, but I don't think so. I think they've been helped by having a markdown. So it's about, so you kind of can't just look at one facet. You have to look at, you know, like you said, what else are you offering? You know, what's your offer to the customer? You know, free shipping.
Cool, because we've got no real way of quantifying if the changes we put in place
work
are generating sales. You know, there's so many factors. It might just be the time of year, and just because you change that and suddenly it's like, oh, this worked, and you'll never go back. It's like, let's really know what's working. And then of course there's supposedly the benefits of adding fast and free, that you save money, don't you, in your
you get a discount, I think, on your you get a discount on your monthly bill if you offer what eBay call like their premium seller service. So you do get that. I do have like a fast and free logo now. I don't know if that's made a huge amount of difference, but you know, I think it's just, I suppose it's just, if eBay are promoting it, or if they're kind of asking you to do it, I just thought it worth trying again. And like I said, my main reason was a large percentage now of my listings are going into a category where a lot of people are offering free postage. So I feel that, especially because sometimes, or quite often, I'm asking a lot more than the original price, it makes sense, because I've got parts that other people don't have, and if having free postage means I can, you know, just get that extra few sales, or, you know, it might just work for me.
Well, I'm all for trying and experimenting, and I've always said that how I choose to do things isn't right. It's just how I choose to do it. And it's interesting that our stores are now kind of like poles apart, because I do good till cancelled on hardly anything, unless I've got loads.
I do it on everything.
I'm actually 10-day cycles now, so I'm like the opposite end of the scale. I'm only free shipping on CDs and DVDs. Some of my games, but not all. Everything else is
paid.
So yeah, it's interesting.
And also, I've stopped doing GSP as well. That's another difference.
I love GSP, although I do my own shipping on gaming now, and that's going really well. I'm doing international tracked options on all of my software.
I've noticed a big difference with that
software. Yeah.
I mean, I've noticed a big difference with that, to be honest with you. Especially again, guys, it's a matter of looking at what you're doing specifically, what you're selling, that should guide you in what you try. You should always be willing to try things. The way I see it is, if the tools are there, you should use them. For example, if eBay have created this fancy promotions manager offering you markdowns and sales, you can't use them unless you use a good till cancelled listing. So you've got to decide, why would they bother putting in all the research and money they put in to offer you that if it completely had no impact? I do feel that the markdown manager especially does have an impact. I think that visual kind of strike through, and it tells you how many days are left of that deal as well. And I've sold a couple of items that I've put onto a markdown, which before that really hadn't had any interest. And I think that has worked. But also when it comes to a GSP, I've found I'm getting really good feedback from customers for shipping. But again, I've done it because I feel that it's become more appropriate since having all these RC parts. They're mostly very small items, so they'll either go as a large letter or they will go as a small parcel. Now, there is no other service out there apart from Royal Mail that can offer the prices they do for shipping on those sizes of parcel. You can't get cheaper than Royal Mail when sending a large letter, and I mean that, in terms of overall service speed, etc. You can send pretty much a large letter to any part of the world for about £8, and that will be tracked and signed. So
do tracked option.
I'm charging people tracked. I mean, even I've sent things in the past week. I sold a guy a part. A guy lives in France. I think he bought some part from me for £8.99, and then he paid me £8.99 shipping. But that's because I'm one of the few people that are offering, I suppose, that part. I'm offering international shipping. He's not having to worry about paying GSP, which some of the other sellers are offering, which could be more expensive in certain cases and certainly a lot slower. My stuff is getting to my international customers much quicker. And I'm finding that they really appreciate that. And I've touched wood, I've not had any issues as of yet.
Well, you're kind of putting yourself head and shoulders above a lot of sellers by just offering the international for a start. And then, like you say, because you're not GSP, you're likely to be cheaper and almost certainly quicker. So yeah, I totally get that. And certainly with since doing my own shipping on video games, way more are going shipped by my means rather than actually GSP isn't. That's not a good example because
no.
But yeah, I've seen the pickup in sales internationally because I stopped doing my own international shipping across the board ages ago and then switched GSP on and never looked back. And then I think it's also the fact that they don't have to pay customs up front.
That can be quite a kicker. I've started selling a lot more things to the US and to Canada, and and outside the EU. I've actually started selling a few more things there. And I think it's because now they're not being charged up front for the customs. Now, technically, they should be charged customs, I guess, by the country of origin. But as we all know, not everything that gets sent abroad does get charged customs. So it comes down to like at least you're giving the item a chance of being sent and not being charged customs, I guess. Like, I'm shipping stuff to the US for like £9. Which is a lot cheaper than I'd have through other means, and it seems to have opened up like a bigger customer base. So that's how I see it.
It's cool as well because I found out only yesterday that quickly and simply and easily through my click and drop account I can do international tracked and signed.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Just with a few clicks, and it prints out the customs label and it prints out the whole shebang.
Yeah,
and it's
I
updated.
don't.
It's great.
I don't think I've got the same integration as that. I think I can use the shuttle site to use like large letter and small parcel um, to um, to do like UK postage. But I think if I have a customer that buys abroad, I actually have to print out my postage through PayPal. So I go into PayPal and find the transaction and print postage. I can do international shipping that way. If I've got international shipping, but I think that's to do with my settings, because I've just chosen for my international delivery, as a standard, I've just chosen economy international shipping. And I think because of that, whenever I try to print out international shipping on eBay, it just diverts me to the Royal Mail website. Whereas because I've just chosen like a generic option, like, economy shipping.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's not, it's just I like to give myself a bit of leeway, I suppose. But yeah. But yeah, I've definitely noticed a big difference. I think customers appreciate it a bit more. It gets to them a lot quicker, and like I said, it's shown in the feedback. Like people are actually saying I got here really quickly, and they're grateful for the stuff. And one other thing I like to say, I've noticed this, right? Some of my competitors, when it comes to RC parts now, have got these really peculiar like rules, like they'll ship everywhere except to country X, Y, and Z because they've had a few bad experiences. Now, I'm just thinking, imagine if you're a seller that says, you know what, I'll ship anywhere except country X because country X, I've just had such bad experiences. You're basically slandering a whole nation on
for years.
Yeah, but imagine, for example, I think Italy is quite a popular one that people don't like to send to. And I was just thinking, imagine if you're an Italian eBayer, wouldn't you be really disheartened knowing that your domestic market is apparently full of crooks that always wants? It doesn't make sense. And again, touch wood, I have sent plenty of items to.
Yeah, but if you're sending trapped and signed, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had those issues, and we used to single out Italy, but the worst were Portugal and Spain, and that's because it was relatively cheap items that would just send international post.
I
wouldn't turn up a ridiculous percentage.
I think
ridiculous.
Well, I'm not gonna question that because I am sending tracked, but it is very tempting to send tracked items as standard shipping because it's so much cheaper. The stuff that I'm sending that's costing me £8 a pop to ship, I can send for £3 if I send it standard. It's about £5 or £6 more to have the tracked and signed option, but I charge that much for my shipping anyway, so I'm covered. And I feel that I'm not sending stuff out for the fun of it. I don't care if it's like a £10 cog, that I've got 50 of. I'm not sending that £10 cog out just and then taking the cheap option and only charging £2.50 for international shipping, only for the guy to then say I've not received it, and then I know I've got to refund him. I just don't want to do that or send him another one. I'd rather have the tenner and say it's going to cost you £8 to ship. Why is it that much? Because I'm sending tracked. Why? Because that's what I want. That's my rules. Simple. If you don't like it, then you can go somewhere else. Oh, wait, you can't because I'm the only one with these cogs.
Exactly. And I think most people end up in that situation with international shipping. It's tracked or it's not going.
Yeah.
That's certainly where we've ended up.
Yeah.
So it's either GSP or it goes via my means, and it's all tracked and signed.
Exactly.
And it's just peace of mind. It's totally.
Yeah. And I think it works out cheaper than GSP as well. That's the thing though. Like I think by charging a customer £8, they're going to get it about 2 weeks quicker than GSP probably, or at least a week quicker. I mean, it takes ages on GSP sometimes, even just to go up the road. It'll get to them in like 2 or 3 days. So they'll feel that they're getting a better service.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Whereas if they're paying 12 odd pounds to GSP because they're also paying your that's the other thing. That was another reason I wanted to take domestic shipping off. When someone buys from abroad as well from GSP, you're also paying. They have to pay your domestic shipping to the eBay GSP warehouse as well as whatever GSP are charging. And
you're not telling me you've reduced all of your items by £2.99.
No, I've increased them.
So they are still paying the domestic shipping.
Yeah, that's not the point. I did actually increase them all by £2.99 to cover the cost, but that's not the point. That's the price now. You know what I mean?
I know in their head as an international buyer, they're paying one shipping fee. I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's quite.
They're still paying both lots of shipping.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just to be pedantic.
Even though now I'm not sending to the UK warehouse, so.
No. Well, yes, okay.
Yeah, even better for me.
I just wanted to say in the chat, which I haven't scrolled down for ages, so I know I'm missing loads. People are disappointed we didn't dress up for Halloween.
Oh, my daughters did. They did their makeup, and we took them out to the town. I think Zara was what was it? What's it got? A prom queen zombie. Apparently, yeah. So she's murdered on prom night brutally by the looks of it. She had quite a gash on the head, and I think Beck shared a photo on Instagram. I'm not sure.
Oh, nice. Did they go trick-or-treating then, or just
they had like a thing going on in the town, like an Easter egg hunt type style thing, but for Halloween. But the girls were a bit older for that. I think they just wanted to walk around looking like zombie and vampire. The older one was dressed as a vampire.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I was carving a pumpkin actually just before we went live.
Oh, cool.
I'm trying to time lapse it to see if I can time lapse me carving it.
Oh, cool.
Oh dear. Hang on a sec.
I mean, some people would say I've got the Uncle Fester look going on. I've got the brown. Yeah, I can just do that up like that.
I've got that going on as well.
Yeah, but I look like Uncle Fester as well. So,
right, let me scroll down and see what's going on. Darren's in the chat. Hi, mate. He said, I sold those. Oh, this is ages ago. I sold those same TIE fighters at the same time. Yeah, it was an RA Tesco deal, if I remember rightly. Madness.
Yeah.
Right, let's scroll down and see what people are saying about postage.
Wow, there's a lot of chat. Sorry, guys, we've not been.
I know we got into our postage discussion.
Yeah, we got quite into it. I think it's quite funny though that we are literally running things the opposite. And again, Rebecca, she's completely different to me. She's GSP, charges postage on everything. And that's just the way she likes it. She doesn't, agree with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
it goes back to what we always say, which is that there is no right and wrong. I can't sit here and say, Zahir, you're an idiot. Stop doing that, because it's working for you, right?
Well, I think so. I don't know. I mean, that's the other thing. Well, that's the other thing. It's like it's not a belief or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not something I can't change. If I decide I don't like it anymore, I can change it. I've probably switched between paid and free postage so many times. I just like doing it. Maybe I just enjoy just flipping between them.
Well, I think it must pay to experiment and change things around.
Makes you feel better, if nothing else. If nothing else, it makes you feel that you're doing everything you can. But I do feel currently it's the right thing for me. Wow, we're way behind, aren't we?
I was going to read a comment and it's jumped, and I don't know where the hell I am now. Hold on. Somebody was asking, I just want to touch on before we go on and read some comments. Somebody was asking us how the training's going. Oh, and I missed the super chat.
And there's a super chat as well. Okay.
Right. Quillian has super chatted $2. Thank you, mate. He says, I love Markdown Manager, but I don't use perpetually. I
think some people in the US can run Markdown Manager constantly. Like they can, I think in the US, you can put a fresh item on sale and immediately put Markdown Manager on it.
We have to abide by retail regulations,
which I think is right, because the item has to run at a price. But can I just give a shout out to whoever it was that mentioned it was 14 days in the last video? I think they're right. It's not, because it used to be 30 days. You used to have to leave a listing untouched for its price and shipping for 30 days before you could.
Being in retail for years and years, I always had in my head that you couldn't say something was on sale unless it had been on at the original
for 30 days. Yeah. Well, it was 30 days, but they have changed it to 14 days because I've been putting listings on Markdown Manager that have been on there, but they do have to be good till cancelled listings and listed for 14 days at that higher price. Yeah, I'm loving Markdown Manager. Actually, I like it. It makes me feel good. So,
yeah, I've never used it. I'll be perfectly honest.
It's really cool. I mean, it's worked for me. Like I said, it's pinged off a couple of sales on items that otherwise hadn't had any interest. So I really do feel that it's
that's cool.
Yeah.
I can't find the comment. I've just scrolled all the way back and all the way down. Somebody was asking, how is the training going and have there been any injuries yet? If you guys didn't see our Sunday hangout that Zahir and Beck popped in, we announced that we have all crazily, and not still quite sure why.
It was Johnny Mango.
Oh, there you go, Johnny Mango. Thank you. We decided we're going to do the moonwalk in London, which involves walking a marathon, so 26.2 miles. And this is myself, Zahir, and our other half, so Andrea and Beck. And we've now we're trying to catch up with the training. We went out this morning and did 3.5, 4 miles ish. The day before we did similar as well. Not a bad pace. We're slowly getting quicker. We're not taking the dog because he's slow. Yeah. So we're just going ourselves. And there is a charity page which I think I've linked below, which I'm going to screen share and just give a few people, because we had some amazing donations come in. So let me just screen share. And we'll give a few shout outs to some of the people that have donated. So hopefully you can see, let me just ping it on to me. So at the moment, should I refresh? Let me refresh and see if it's gone up. No, it hasn't changed. Okay, so Rebecca's on 48.46 and then there's you on 44.52. I'm lagging way behind now. Look at that. Unbelievable. But I do want to give a big shout out to Margaret, who I spoke to earlier, and she was so generous donating there. As you can see, there's Carol. I can't give replies yet. I need to work out my sign in actually. And it's giving little maps because Andrea's linked her app. So that's really cool. That was our walk this morning. Then we've got Natasha here. Thank you. Joanne, Trisha. There's our walk from yesterday. Oh, and Rebecca's walks are coming up, but you don't get a little map with yours.
Yeah, I think Beck, it looks like Andrew's using Map My Fitness and Rebecca's got Map My Walk.
Oh, okay.
It might be the reason why. And yeah.
And then thank you, Barry and Peter, Alan, which is Chelsea. Thanks, mate. Gary, who's in the chat tonight as well. Tom. So if you guys do want to help us out in trying to raise money for breast cancer charities, please go over, even if it's just a couple of quid.
And you get to choose who you donate to.
You get to choose. Not that it's a popularity contest. I keep saying that. I'm saying that now. I'm losing miserably. Okay. So, yeah, thanks to everybody who has donated. It's not for a long time. It's next
May.
So
yeah, so we've got a lot of months ahead of walking and getting fit really for it, because I'm certainly in no shape to do. I mean, I think we did like a walk along Lytham Beach. Remember where we walked out to the sea and back?
Yes.
And we did that yesterday, and it's only about 2.6 or 2.7 miles. And we did it in about 45 minutes, but I was knackered. I mean, we were knackered, like, you know, it was maybe it was because of the terrain, you know, like the beach.
On sand does take it out, to be fair. It really does.
Yeah, that's what I'm going on. But yeah, if there's no way I could do 26 miles right now. There's just no way. So got enough time, hopefully, to.
Well, there's no going back now. We've got donations, so we can't back out of anything.
No, there's no backing out happening. No way. I'm definitely going to do it. No way.
Quillian just donated $2. I'm sorry if I've missed any others. He said, I run Markdown Manager at night and wake to a half-did sales. I'm not sure what that's meant to mean, but he runs Markdown Manager at night, apparently.
Oh, superb.
Okay. Darren, no confidence in Nick finishing the marathon, judging by the donations. Great, thanks for that. Will you be popping into charity shops along the marathon path?
They'll be closed at that time.
the extra weight. Oh yeah, it's through the night anyway.
Yeah.
So that's not going to pan out. Yeah, so if you guys haven't donated and you want to, pop over there now. We'll check in and the totals at the end and give you a shout out if you do go over there and donate. So yeah, let's see if we've got any comments on the topic. Let us know what you guys do actually. If you are adamant that free shipping is the way, if you are paid shipping all the way, if you mix it up a bit as I do, I'll be interested to know. Hi Kirsten, she's in there. I've not had any sales today. We all have 0 sales days.
Yeah, it does happen, doesn't it? Unfortunately.
Power reselling. I'll donate £250 to Z if he smashes the lamp.
I'm not smashing the lamp. My daughter uses the lamp now. I'm not going to smash it.
I have 50 lamps.
Yeah, but she wants that one.
Smash the lamp.
No, me. 45 minutes out and 3 minutes back because the KFC was closing. Says Graham. It is. Girl Up North says my daughter has done the moonwalk 3 times. She always follows the official training plan. Yes, I think Beck said that the training plan for it normally gets sent out around January, February time. And then they have like a little plan in there to slowly build you up. But basically, I think the idea is you just keep going out for regular walks, and slowly, as it gets nearer, they encourage you to just build your walks up to a longer and longer distance. And by the time you've done it, should be ready to go.
I just need to build my leg strength up again and around my knees as well, because I've got old man knees. Oh, who is it? Oh, it just jumped. Someone, I think it was Peter, just mentioned this controller. He's got good eyesight because he recognised that was a Wu-Tang controller from there.
Oh, that is so sick.
I thought because it's a third party, I think it was bundled with a big pack with the game. I thought, nah, nobody's going to want this. There's good money in those. I guess they were issued in.
How much are they?
I looked it up when I got the mega haul, so I can't remember. I think it's like about 30 quid's worth of controller.
Nice.
It's just
nice.
Cheap plastic.
Yeah, but that is so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I think it was Wu-Tang Taste the Pain, wasn't it? The game?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So yeah, that's going on tonight. I'm working on Master System today mostly. So a few little classics in there going on.
Wow.
All good fun. Right, let's see if anyone's answered what they do with shipping. Oh, hang on. Oh, God. Oh yeah, it was Peter who mentioned the Wu-Tang controller. So cool. James says free shipping on everything apart from auctions. So add shipping on as an added cost to the auctions. Yeah, fair enough. Graham Nichols says, "What's a sale?" You having a bad day, Graham? Whereas Paul's had his best sales day for 2 months. It's always the way, There's no rhyme or reason to eBay. Absolutely not.
Really isn't. You have to just keep believing in what you're doing. Just that's all you can do really, is keep believing in your methods and because it will come good for you. I think it's so easy to get affected, isn't it? And I think that's one thing that I try very hard not to do is to get affected too much by what other people are doing, because everyone's in their own situation, and everyone's got different goals and they've got different needs. So you have to kind of work by what feels right for you. And
I think you are right, but I think also it's the struggle is not to be reactionary. Like you have a bad day and you don't want to just like, I've got to change everything.
Yeah.
Put my prices down.
That's it.
It's like,
I'm going to go free shipping, or I'm going to go buy, best offer and everything, or I'm going to definitely.
Again, you have to experiment to find out what works and what doesn't. So at the same time, why not? Why not shake it up? But let me see who else we've got. Amelia in there says, all mine is paid shipping. starting at £2.90, and only international shipping I do is GSP. I know GSP really works for a lot of people, and where it works is those who don't want the hassle of doing international shipping, don't want to have to mess with all of that. It's click a button and suddenly you're selling worldwide. And for ease, it really works. But as you said, it's a flawed system and you can do better than GSP. But for many people, it's a perfect solution. Oh, sorry, getting messages. Callum, I offer free shipping on orders over £10. Most of my items or $4.99 to $9.99. This pushes the buyers to spend a little more.
Ah, cool. It's like an incentive to spend a bit more to get free shipping.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, hang on. John added a few quid to each item and put everything on free shipping.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I did. It just added a couple quid and just went for it.
Yeah. Sorry, it jumped there. Let me scroll back a bit.
Kirsten says, get a dogsy, gets you out walking. Oh, we would love to, but we're renting, so just, don't want to,
What's that?
I just pressed the button on my Iron Man, so
that freaked me out. I thought, what's going on?
It's really cool. It does all the effects and things. It's just fiddling with it.
Okay. Power reselling. Says, such as books, I always add postage, then even the price to make it look more competitively priced. What? I'm confused. Not sure I'm following that. Lewis, I recently changed to charging for all postage and I add extra on costs of packaging and eBay's 10%. I also send internationally with tracked and insured to cover my back. Okay.
Fair enough. Exactly.
It's interesting, isn't it? Just about everybody's slightly different. And
yeah, exactly. Everyone has to go for what makes them feel comfortable. Really, it's not that there is no right or wrong. I know a lot of people kind of want to have like an answer to it. This is the right way, or I mean, you could argue that eBay are obviously promoting it by giving you little badges and things like fast and free and whatever, but again, it depends on your situation. If you're picking up really cool one-off items from car boots or from charity shops, and you've got a really good eye, or you've got a really good eye for antiques and things like that, then you don't have to offer free shipping, because you're not selling. I know you're not selling plastic spatulas from China that you have to somehow make different, have to kind of differentiate yourself against all the other plastic spatula sellers that have imported from China. You're selling a unique 1980s toy because that's your inventory is made up of unique 1980s toys that are rare, so you can charge shipping.
Exactly.
I mean, for example, you've got your consoles on, that NES. You could charge whatever you like for shipping, as long as it's obviously reasonable. But no one's going to grudge you for that. No one's, because how many come up in that condition? Not many.
Ironically, I've put that on with free shipping.
There we go.
Just because I was looking at the prices and it's in really nice nick, but this is the Turtles limited edition one. And the turtle sleeve is in a mess. It's got damp at some point. It must have been taken off the console, left somewhere else. It's gone all brown and it's all split at the back and it's horrible. So I've gone for a round figure of 250. And then I just thought, oh, that's a nice round figure. I'm going to leave it with free shipping, which I think I did on all the consoles in the end. Actually, talking of those, Houdini's Long Box asks, what platforms are you going to list your boxed retro consoles on? Which one gets better returns? I looked into doing them Amazon, and there's an argument to say I could get considerably more on there, but I'm just not comfortable selling retro consoles on Amazon, although I have sold an N64 on there and a couple of PS1s. I know Tom's had issues with people just returning them because they don't know how to use them or they don't know how to set them up. And I feel safer and more comfortable because I've got a history of selling this stuff on eBay. I feel like I'm selling to people on eBay who know what it is, who will know how to set it up on an old CRT TV and tune it in and all of these issues. So I've gone eBay on all of it. So yeah, we'll see. I had an offer on the NES for 220, which I turned down.
Nice.
I haven't had another offer since.
Oh.
Okay. Stephen, just sold my first Wii console with postage added on. There you go.
Fair enough.
Lex, I used to do £2.90 and suck up the costs of the rest, but yesterday I changed to £3.50. I figure because I sell vintage clothes, my items are unique, so 60p won't sway the buyer. Yeah, if you're selling a unique one-off things that somebody really wants, an extra 60p on your postage certainly isn't going to put them off if you're reasonably priced anyway.
Yeah.
Or if it's
the only thing I'd say is when you're setting postage charges, I think the buyers can rate your postage value. So, you know, when they're leaving you feedback, if they decide to leave you feedback, they could well leave you positive feedback. So it's one of those things, you know, whether you want to
yeah, it's an interesting one because I can't remember where I saw it. There was a thread somewhere where somebody had posted out something. They'd charged, let's say, £4 to ship it, and they'd shipped it over the counter Royal Mail. So the amount you pay goes on that little label, and then it turned up and it cost them £2.80 or whatever it was, and the buyer demanded that difference back. And there was a thread going on, what would you do? And people were saying, well, the difference, what you could say the difference was, it's postage and packing. So the difference is your time and materials to pack it. But yeah, if the amount you actually get charged to post it is on the label, you could come across issues, or they could leave you negative feedback, or a negative rating in the postage value, as you say.
Yeah, that is something they can do. So it's just, you get protected when you're offering free.
Yeah, because they can't leave you any, or can they leave you if it turns up late?
Well, no, they can still, you can still get done for late and things like that, but just the value DSR, because there's you know, like the value of your postage is a good value. They don't have a choice to leave you a star for that, so they'll still have to answer, did it arrive on time and things like that. So you're not protected magically by offering free postage. It's not like a
I didn't think you were, but in that moment I thought, oh, that's a reason to do it.
Yeah, no, that would be a good reason to do it. If it protected you against late shipment and everything because it's free, that would be really cool. But no, I think it's literally just for the value.
Right. Oh, Jury's in there. Hi, Jury. Good use goods.
Hi there.
I need to drop in one of the 6-pack chats again. It's been ages since I chatted to those guys. Okay, where are we? Graham just said, or it might be 5 minutes ago, a kid just turned up at my door dressed as Iron Man. I gave him a jar of marmalade and his reaction was priceless. Gave him a jar of marmalade? Who does that?
I don't know. That's a bit
run out of Haribo in the Nichols household, so they're handing out jars of condiments now.
That's quite funny.
Darren's got a nice boxed PlayStation 1 but cannot sell Sony on FBA. I'm managing to sell Sony FBA. That's interesting. Weird. I sent a couple of PS1s up and a load of controllers. Interesting.
Sometimes it's worth checking the listings as well, because some listings are like in the wrong category completely and it might restrict you, and then you might find the right listing. Because Sony, I thought most people are free to.
Talking about checking multiple listings on FBA, it's so worth your time. I sent up a load of cosmetic stuff that we bought in the sales last year, and I sent up this certain hand cream because I scanned it in, found, oh yeah, that's selling, blah, 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 picked my price, sent it all up FBA. I then somehow happened to across another listing of the same product, which is ranked so much better, selling for the same price, but ranked like thousands and thousands above or below, whichever way around, selling better. And I've sent it up on completely the wrong listing. So don't always go by the barcode. Do a manual search for your product as well, because as Zahir said, sometimes there's 2 or 3 listings for exactly the same thing, and some are selling and ranked way better. So I've got a load of this. I've got like about 12 packs of this cream up on a listing that does sell, but not that often compared to this other listing of exactly the same product. So I don't know whether to get it all recalled and send it back, because there's no way of remotely switching it over onto the other listing.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, that's a bit of a. It's annoying if you by accidentally put something on the wrong listing and.
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, it's the right listing for the product.
Yeah, but the wrong one in terms of ranking and
not the one that's selling.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, don't always go by the barcode, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, sometimes I find it best to just search the website and just copy paste, because sometimes things don't show up. I don't think on when you barcode it, it doesn't always come up with the best, like you said, the best listings.
Exactly, and they have some products have like 4 or 5 different listings of the same damn thing, and then you have to go into every one and work out, go into Camel, which one actually sells, and like, oh right, okay, and then pick the actual one. Southwest Sellers, this is Gary. Z is correct. I'm not sure what we're talking about here, but I'll read it anyway. Z is correct. I follow a few sellers who charge $3.99 and their postage stars are at 4.7 and lower. Will affect the visibility of their listings. So if you're charging more to the customer than you're spending, I think that's about.
I think, and the sad thing about that is oftentimes you're only reflecting the cost to you as a seller of the postage, but buyers don't see that. They don't care about that. I mean, something funny actually that's just reminded me. I was printing out a postage label today through Parcel to Go, who, by the way, currently are offering I think the best value for under a kilo. I think it's £2.39 including VAT, right, to ship a small parcel under a kilo. But I was printing out one of their labels, and if you print out like a regular size label, you don't set it to printing out 6x4 labels. It prints out the label and a little advert underneath the on a bar just below the label, which says, get your shipping from Parcel to Go with the cheapest at only this much excluding VAT. Now, if I've charged the customer X for my shipping and I send them that, they're gonna just think I've ripped them off for the extra. They don't care that you have to pay for fees. They don't care that you've got fees on your postage. They don't care that it costs you money to package and use bubble wrap. They don't care that it costs money to run a printer and paper. They don't care that you've got to spend petrol to drive to the shop, etc. They don't care about any of those things. It's very black and white when you're a buyer. It's just, I thought it should only cost this much. So it's a real balancing act when you're pricing your shipping, I think, because a lot of people will just be like, oh, shipping should only cost this much. That they'll be like, oh, you can send that for £1 something, and you're thinking, well, yeah, if I send it untracked without any protection to
yeah, I think you're right. I think you're better off in a way to maybe charge exactly what you think you're going to spend on shipping, definitely if it's going to show on the label, and then add the extra into the cost of your item if you need.
I always cut that extra advert off, because I'm like, it's an advert for the shipping company, and it's an advert for Parcel to Go, and they're making them sell sound as cheap as possible. So if they're saying from only £1.99 or whatever it is excluding VAT, or people are going to think, well, then why have I just been charged £3 if he's only paid £2 using the service?
Exactly.
It's just
interesting. Jack says, using best offer has improved my sales. I just add a bit and then give best offer. The buyer must feel better bartering. Yeah, Andrea's employed that tactic for a long time. She'll value an item and say, this is worth about £10. I'm going to list it at 13 with best offer. And lo and behold, she'll be offered a £10 within a few days sometimes, and go, there you go. Yeah.
Corinne in the chat has just made quite a good point. She goes, I always buy from sellers with free postage unless it's something I really want. And Beck's very similar. She will search for people with free shipping. She'll try to get free shipping. Isn't that weird? She won't always, but sometimes she does. And just like Karin says, she buys for people with free shipping unless it's something they really want. It's just the psychological thing, as Karin probably knows that the sellers, being a seller herself, she probably knows that the postage is possibly already in the price. But the fact that there's a filter on the side which shows free shipping only shows that buyers do look for it.
Yeah.
There's something to think about.
I'll concede you that one for sure.
Yeah, minor, but still,
Krillin has super chatted again. Thanks, buddy. He says you should promote MSP. Needs 100 more subs for
super chat.
MSP.
You should promote MSP. Mothership products.
Could be Mothership product. That's Dwayne.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try and remember to drop a link below if you're watching after the fact. Dwayne, who I know from the Six Pack, if that's who we're talking about, he does those epic auction shows where they sell off stuff live on YouTube. Okay.
John says, only just got my notification. We'll watch the start later. And Mir Cameron Ali's joined us as well.
Oh man, so my notifications aren't working. Yours are working perfectly.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Not to everybody.
Live, I get it the moment you go live.
Are they?
Yeah, well, I do. I don't know if anyone else.
Well, Beck said she didn't get one when I went last time. I don't know.
This system is crap.
It's just broken. We've got 165 people watching us anyway, right at the end, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes to 7.
Jeez.
Let's just go through a few. Richard Payne says, I always cut that banner off parcel to go label 2Z. Yeah, see, Richard knows what I'm talking about. It's annoying.
You don't want to give your buyer a reason to feel aggrieved at you.
Yeah.
What it is.
Barry says, if I buy and the item price and postage are a fair total of what I want to pay, I don't care if they charge me £4 and the postage only costs £2. You may not, Barry, but plenty of other people would. I think we've all got the benefit of being on this side of the fence as well. Yeah. We're not just consumers, we're also sellers. But if you're just a consumer and I don't say just kind of negatively, but if you only consume, you're not like a seller as well. You're going to be, spoilt by.
A lot of buyers really do not understand how eBay.
They don't value it. It's not valued, is it? Shipping is not. I mean.
No, and as Jack points out, Jack Blackburn says, a lot of buyers do not realize we have costs from eBay, costs from PayPal. You know what I mean? They think what they give us is what we keep. It's like so far from the truth. But more people buy on eBay than sell, clearly, and a lot of people don't understand how it works. Amelia says, I remember a long time ago, people used to make money on postage, like substantial amounts. I'm sure I remember it being a big deal. Well, I remember ages ago, you used to get charged your final value fee on the item cost. On the postage, you wouldn't get charged a fee. So people used to do this weird thing where they'd sell their item for 99p and then they'd charge you 20 quid postage just to get around. It was a bit of a loophole, so they wouldn't get charged final value fee on this £20 postage, but then it cost them like £3.50 to send it or whatever it was, and they'd save on the fees, which is why eBay implemented, however many years ago it was, the fees across the board, so you couldn't use that loophole.
Yeah. Lewis Hodgson in the chat says, I add a small message in each of my listings detailing the reason for my postage costs, and so far I've had no issues, touch wood. Lewis, by the way, also has a really, really good YouTube channel. I caught one of his videos the other day. He makes, I think, like one video a week where he goes through like all his pickups, clothing and other bits as well. Really good guy to check out. So if you guys haven't, check him out in the chat. Lewis Hodgson, I think he's posted a couple of times in the Tat Chat.
I did see one.
Yeah,
I think the other night I saw one in the Tat Chat. Yeah. How is it? Let's have a look. Kirsten says, that's why I think eBay should make it clear to buyers that postage charges include packaging and costs.
Yeah, because it just says P&P, and people don't understand what P&P stands for. I think they just think postage and postage.
You know what people
yeah, they just.
It turns up, and if you do over the counter Royal Mail, it says £2.90 spent.
But I think Do you know why? I think people's lack of knowledge on postage is not that surprising, and I say that because sometimes when you get items returned to you, like, or even if you buy something, I recently purchased something off of eBay, and you know, the seller obviously wasn't a professional seller; they weren't a regular seller, and they messaged me because they charged what was reasonable for the shipping. It was quite a light item. I can't go into what it was because it's actually a present. In case Zara's watching, I know she sometimes watches the videos, but yeah, we got a present, and according to the size and weight, the postage charge was reasonable. It was about £4-5, and the lady messaged me after she'd shipped it, saying, "Oh, after we'd packaged it all up, it turned out to be a lot more, but we sent it like this, and we chucked in a few extra bits for you." You know, really lovely seller. And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much, really appreciate it." The item turned up, and typically the post office had, you know, basically told this lady that she needed to pay £11.30 to ship something that you or I would have gotten shipped for about £3 or £4 because they charged a special delivery.
Oh,
You know, just being upsold, you know, because the questions at the post office are not often based around the dimensions or the weight of the item. They're often based around, do you need this delivered quickly? Do you need it delivered tomorrow? Or, you know, does this need to get there by this, you know, or that? And bam, you know, they will, if you say, do you need this delivered quickly? Do you need it delivered the next day? They'll just automatically assume that means, yes, I'll have special delivery, even though it doesn't need special delivery.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bigger than a small parcel, but, you know, it was only a medium parcel, and if you'd sent that via UPS or if you'd sent it via Hermes or whatever, you'd be paying like £4-5, just like she charged. It was kind of a shame to see that, but that's what happens though, and people aren't aware.
Caught out, don't they, if they're not experienced with how the Royal Mail works, for sure.
But that same lack of experience is what informs them when they see your postage cost. So if they see, you know, seller X selling one item with free postage and you're selling the same item with a very reasonable £2.99, suddenly even £2.99 seems unreasonable because, well, that guy is selling it with free postage, or, you know,
yeah,
just saying.
Yeah. Oh, Pete's Retro Collectibles was echoing what I was saying about how it used to be that people would charge extortionate amounts of postage to avoid fees, etc. So yeah, in the dark old days of eBay.
Yeah, I can imagine that 99p item with like £30 shipping and stuff.
It was literally like
mad.
That. Things.
It's mad.
For years, it didn't make any sense to me, and then the penny dropped, and it was like, oh yeah, you don't pay any fees on the postage.
God.
Hillsman says, I've been using DPD local lately, who were Interlink, and they're pretty good. So there's a recommendation for you. Right. Power reselling's off now. See you later. Right, let's do this quick question. Karen asks, sold a DVD on Amazon, merchant fulfilled. It made me buy postage for £2.90. Lady in post office said it could have gone large letter. Then, as you know, they only give you, in this case, £2 towards it. I sold a DVD on Amazon, merchant fulfilled. Oh, so you bought the postage through Amazon somehow?
Or they only allow you to charge so much for postage, maybe she's saying. Because don't Amazon have limits on...
Amazon set it themselves, don't they? Amazon set my postage piece for me.
On FBA they do, or on merchant fulfilled as well.
I think there probably is a way you can change it, because I noticed that people have all different postage settings.
Merchant fulfilled, you get to, I think it's, but they set like a limit, don't they? That you can't go over, so you can't put in silly amounts. You got another super chat from Krillin.
Let me just try and find it.
Right at the bottom.
What is Royal Mail? Delivery by Beefeater. I wish. They do wear red. Well, actually, no, they wear dark blue, don't they?
Yeah. No, their fleeces
They
and
do,
things can be red. Yeah.
yeah, little red vans go around. Have you ever
Yeah.
seen Postman Pat? Probably not, Grilly.
Postman Pat.
Postman Pat, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. Actually, go onto YouTube. Well, you'll be on YouTube now, and just put in Postman Pat theme tune. That is what our postmen are like.
By the way, shout out to Krillin. I love his short, super short videos he does. He put one out just the other day of this really cool looking jumper. It's like a cotton trader's jumper, but it looked like a one, you know, that brand like Kuji or something, where you know the really fancy, weird designs on them. But he had like a cotton trader version. He sold it for like $60. It was like a bolo, but you know, short and to the point. You know,
fantastic.
Pretty much the opposite of how we do things.
Yeah, we ramble.
We just go on.
Right. Well, we should probably wrap this up talking about rambling. I'm just going to scroll to the end. Well, I'm just going to dip in. What I'll do to round it up is just dip in the little charity page and see if anyone went over and donated. What am I doing? Screen share. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let me leave it on me and then refresh. Oh yes, there we go. Right, we've had some action. You're still at the top of the heap there, Zahir. 62-61. Then Rebecca,
61-55. She's catching up, Beck.
Wow, that's close. And now I'm still at the end, but I've gone way up from 18. So let's have a look. Girl Up North donated 5 to Zahir.
Northerners stick together. I'm a phony Northerner, but still, I'm a Northerner. Jason Entwistle.
Jason. I don't know who that's gone to. It doesn't say, does it? Oh, no, these don't say who they've gone to. Darren, thanks, mate. Jason. Yeah. I think Jason was diplomatic. He must have spread it around.
Yeah, and Darren by the looks of it. Yeah, Darren's gone. Darren's donated to everybody. And so is Jason, I think.
Darren is beyond generous. That is crazy. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Darren and Jason have both donated to all 4 of us. So thank you very much, guys.
That doesn't help me. Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, thanks for the donations. We'll keep popping in when we do chats now and again and just see how it's all going.
Yeah.
Let me just stop that. Come off there. Right, and on that note, we shall wrap this one up. It's now, I'll make it 7:10. So happy Halloween. I want to do one thing before we go, right?
Oh, God.
Hold on. We got some cups and they're the coolest thing. I don't know if this is going to work. Are they glowing?
Yeah, they're kind of bright. I mean, yep, they are. They're glowing-ish. They're very bright.
It doesn't look as good as it does in real life.
I think the screen is. You might have to go to the back of the Tat Cave.
Hang on.
See whether that we can see you from the back. Yeah, now that's better. Yeah, they're glowing quite a lot.
I can't see a thing.
Yeah, you look like some kind of raver with those glow sticks. Yeah, that's it. There you go. Yeah.
For me, is it? There we go.
It's working. Superb.
Anyway, right. Hang on. Oh, it's all dark in here now. Come on, light. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, right. We will leave you.
On that note, thanks for sharing your glow-in-the-dark cups, Nick.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Right, appreciate you joining me, Zahir. That was fun.
Yep.
And thanks for joining in the chat. We've still got 154 people who witnessed the glowing cups. I'm sure that made today.
Yep, definitely.
And yeah, we'll see you soon. Zahir will be back on Friday. We'll be back again on Sunday for a hangout. Until then.
Actually, one more thing before I go. I'm actually going to be on Bonafide Hustlers channel, I think. But it's going to be really late, so most of you guys will be asleep. But to do thrift battles on his channel. So that's going to be 1 a.m. or something on a Wednesday or a Thursday morning.
So how
1 a.m. Thursday.
Quickly let us know what that means.
Thrift Battle is a series of shows that Bonafide Hustler in the States has been doing, where they get 2 sets of resellers, and I think they get 5 items. And the idea is you talk about each of your 5 items. It's a set order, so you have a preset order of items, so you can't change the order around. And you talk about them, and you kind of hype them up or describe them, and like it's about presentation, education, and explanation, as Rakin says. And so whoever does that will gets, you know, the chat then decides who's done the best job on that.
So vote for the best.
Yeah, so whose name comes up most. So there'll be 5 rounds. It'll be 5 rounds, and whoever gets most points wins. And I'm up against a guy called Flipping for a Living. Yeah.
Ooh.
I know it sounds dangerous. I might have to.
He's American, is he?
Yeah, I'm gonna shut him down like LL Cool J.
Have you picked out the items yet?
Not all of them, but I've got a couple that I'm gonna think I might bring out the big guns. You know.
Yeah.
See what I can do. I might bring out my coffee machine. Just be like, I bought this. Just bring it out from under the table.
That'll be so cool.
Yeah,
when he schedules it, or when you know when it is, you'll have to put a link in there.
Yeah. I think he's scheduled it on his channel, so yeah, I'll pop a link in the Tat Chat. Okay.
Fantastic. Oh, and on that note, Steve Rakin has made public the chat that I was in with him about a week or so back. So pop over to Steve Rakin's channel, and I think it should be the latest video.
Fantastic chat. That was a really good chat. I really enjoyed that. It was like, even though like I know the story and everything, it was, you know, he does such a good interview, and like you were really good in that. I actually came across epic, I think.
It was good, yeah. He got me to talk about all sorts of things I didn't expect.
Yeah, he's good. He's very good at what he does, isn't he? So yeah. Yes, it will be live, guys. And I think it's going to be 1 a.m. or midnight our time. So I think you know, I'll share the link in the Tat Chat anyway.
Cool. But well, I'll try and watch live to give you a few.
I wish we were a bit more organized, so we remember all these things right at the end. Like,
oh yeah. Okay, brilliant. Okay, and on that note, we will actually leave you to get on with your Halloween evenings. Thanks for joining us, guys. Take care.
Cheers. Bye.